Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Sacred Wisdom Circle. We're so excited to have you here and happy that you found your way here with us. We are here to remember what the world has asked us to forget. So much of everyone's life right now is busy. So it's time to just slow down for a minute, take a breath, and know that you are not lost, you are not broken, and you are the light. Welcome.
Mm, so much so.
Yeah. I feel like that's the biggest thing is like this. We were just discussing, how the summer's going for everyone. And it seems like sometimes we miss each other and things are busy. But like you said, it's like summer's a beautiful time to fill the cup. Um, but it's okay that life is in flow?
Right? Oh
Hmm.
my gosh, that is I have a master class coming up about that whole it's called the portal within because I was like, oh, August is full of portals. So
Right?
all the
Holy cow, energetic stuff going on. Lion
right?
dates, portals, eclipses.
Yeah, a lot. And I call my main program the portal. And then, I was like, oh my gosh. And then the portal within kind of came to me. I was like, okay, August is the month of portals, the portal within. But it's all about, navigating life when things are uncertain. And I know that there's so many people that are doing that are like, holy man, I didn't expect this, or I have to hold this now. How do I keep going and hold this along with everything else I'm doing? And it's overwhelming. And I
Yeah.
think that a lot of people this summer are taking time away just for themselves and
Hmm.
replenishing, refilling that bucket, like you said, filling the cup. And it's interesting because the card I pulled just as you were pressing record, a card came out and it's the Heart Guardian card. So I love my Kyle Gray deck, Angels and Oracles, and whenever I'm pulling cards online, I tend to use these. But the Heart Guardian is love and let yourself be loved.
Mm.
Isn't that perfect? And
Yeah.
she is, it just reminds me of Mary Magdalene because of the heart and the red robe that she's wearing. But actually, I'll read it for everyone so that we get the full message instead of
Hmm.
just me. So let me just find it here. But there it is. Oh, popped right out. Okay, so your message for everyone today is welcome with open arms, opportunities to give and receive love. The Heart Guardian is an angelic energy that can help you call for protection and guidance with all issues surrounding the heart. This is essentially the angel who helps you with all relationships, whether they be with yourself, family, or even a romantic connection. She can enable you to move beyond any limiting fears about trust, discern whom to trust, and understand how you can move forward in a balanced relationship with that person. In this card, she is adorned with a sacred heart and draped in a red cloak to show her capacity to let love lead the way.
Mm.
You are lovable, and loving. The energy of love is surrounding your whole world at this time. Angels are swirling around you, encouraging you to open your heart and reveal the blessings that you have to offer. They want you to know that you are a highly loving being who deserves to give and receive love. If you're finding it challenging to feel love at this time, it's important for you to give yourself credit where it's due. You're also encouraged to welcome support from others, learn to receive. Don't try and do everything on your own. If you're working on a relationship or in a new relationship, this card can usher in energies that allow you to forge a powerful connection with your partner. Love is in the air.
I also
Beautiful.
believe, like you said, it's kind of in there too, but like the love of for self and the
That's what
relationship
I
we have for
honed
self.
in on.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Yes. I really felt that as I was reading it. It's like, oh, I really feel like this is about loving yourself, being gentle with yourself, and receiving love. Yeah.
Hmm. And I
Yeah.
don't think we think about exterior relationships when we think about relationships, but I don't think we truly think about the relationship we have with ourselves. of like, the care. I remember hearing, and I'm sure everyone's probably heard the video of the gentleman who I think was it Oprah he was on anyway, or one of them talk shows. And he talked about like, if I told you you needed to be responsible for a human being for this long, like and take care of it and do all the things, you would do whatever you could to take care of it. But what if I told you that human being is you?
Right.
And it's like, do we really truly have that care, concern, and compassion for ourselves like we would for if it was someone else?
Yes. So true. And we forget that so quickly in life. We put ourselves aside. You hear a lot about, self-abandonment and that, and it's just kind of a natural go-to for us, isn't it? But I do one of the things I think it was even last summer that I dove really deep into that relationship with self. And I saw it as an infinity. So an infinity going up and down like this.
Mm-hmm.
So that relationship with my higher self, my soul, is the most important relationship. It has to come first. And
100%.
yes, and I really connected to that with that infinity symbol. It's like, oh, yes, because that filling that up allows us then to give to everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
There's more to it. It'll probably come to me as we're talking. I'm a
100%.
little I'm a little slow in the head this morning.
That's okay, but it's funny because I have a friend of mine that has that same idea of that we are this infinity symbol and allowing energy to flow through ourselves, but also just that awareness of who we are and flows in that way. Um, but what I really, for me, it was like that, like I picture a cup, and societally and like in culture, we believe that we have to give of others mostly, and we're supposed to give first. And I was reading the book, You Too Can Be Prosperous one day
Oh,
by Rob Russell. I have it here sitting beside me because it's like one of the Bibles that I study and you can't see it unless you're there. But anyway, this book is so good. And it talks, if you've ever read it, for anybody that's listening, even if you're not religious, I would read it. Talks about Bible scripture and stuff like that. I'm not overly religious, but it breaks it down in such a different way. It actually gives us context to looking at these pieces of scripture and literally flipping some of the ideas of what we think about the scripture on its head, in my opinion. And it's like a different perspective of how we interpret those things from a more holistic way, in my opinion. Anyway, the purpose of what I'm trying to say here is that it literally says is that maybe not literally, but my interpretation of it is that we are supposed to receive fully first. That giving that we give to others should be the overflow. And I'm sure we've heard this before, but it's like, how can we even be in receivership if we're not giving to other or giving to self first? Like the cup should be full and overflowing before we give,
yes.
and we give from that overflow, not when it's half empty, not give until we're empty completely and diminished. It's literally not fill the cup first, then give. It's like we give from the overflow, not from what's in the cup.
And that makes, it's so much it's it's so beautiful when we are in that overflow because that's our first natural response is to give
Yeah.
and to it's like I always say it's like having Thanksgiving and
Hmm.
you make all this food. You have so much food laid out on the table and everybody's eaten and there's still so much food left and you're like, "Come and eat, please come, take this home, take this, like, come and
Yeah,
take." And that to me is overflow. That's a description
exactly.
because that's what you want to do when you're in overflow, and
Yeah.
yeah, we weren't supposed to be drained vessels.
No, but it's like, it's funny because I even had this conversation with somebody recently in my environment, the circle that I host. And one of the things we talked about was like, well, when we talk about manifestation, I create this idea of like, when I give, I know more is coming back to me. I'm like, but what if it's not, you have to give first? The more doesn't come from you giving. What if the more is already there and you receive the more and then you are so abundant from the feeling of the receiving of more? That's where you give from.
Oh, yeah. And isn't that just like the scarcity of just enough or not
Yeah.
quite enough, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's like when that perspective changed for me, it was like, oh my gosh, like I said, I was in the same idea of I need to give and just accept the idea that when I give, more will come in return. And it's like, but you even say over there, you have to give first. That's part of the program that we need to give first in order to receive the extra. You know what I mean? Like it used to be like you had to give to receive. And then it's like, in order to give more, I need to give more. No, there's no doing involved. It's literally receiving, then giving.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I
Anyway,
love that
sorry.
because I think that
Tangent.
when I first, like years ago, when I first dove into money energy, when we talk about money, it was, you heard a lot of that. Well, give, you need to give, you need to, and I was like, I'm drained. I can't
Right?
give anymore. Like, and so then you're giving with a little bit of resentment there, right?
Mhm.
There's this underlying little energy that's funky, and that's not working.
Mm-mm.
It's not working at all then. So,
No.
yeah, fill up first. It's okay to fill up. You deserve
No.
it.
And I think that's what this book's, the point of what I was saying with the book. I think that's what it really, one of the ideas that I really got from it was like, we are actually, everything is here for us first. And if we are supposed to receive first. And it's so funny that we're like, but again, societally, it's selfish to take first.
Right.
And it's like such a different program to say, no, I'm supposed to receive first and then give from what I have the ability to give from, as
Yeah.
opposed to like, but no, if we like I'm even like even going to buy stuff for friends and stuff like that, I'm like, I will buy for others first and just for my own habits and what I've grown up with, right? And so it's like it's such I can even feel it in resistance in myself of being like, I can't take first. What? Like
Yeah.
that seems so odd to do that. It's like, no, no, I'll let everybody else go first and then I'll have what I want or whatever's left, right? So interesting.
Oh, you're so right. And notice too how you move your body in that way. Like when you let others go through the door first, when you
Mhm.
walk, and I do that a lot. Like even just walking with people, I let them go first, and it's not that I'm a follower. It's
No.
about, oh, you go. It's about giving, right?
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. So and in when you serve a meal, it's like,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, like serving
oh,
a meal or like dessert or something. Like,
yes.
could you imagine taking the first of anything?
Well,
Like
it's awkward, I'll tell you that,
Yeah.
because my husband and my son lives here with us, and I'll
Mhm.
make supper, and I'll go, "Okay, guys, come on, supper's done." And they're like, "No, you get yours." And it feels very awkward, but
Uh-huh.
I know I receive, I consciously go, "Okay," and receive, but it does not feel comfortable. So,
Well, like you said, it's and then, like we've been talking about, it's been programmed, it's been conditioned,
yeah.
especially those of us that are givers and like the nurturers and whatever, to give, give, give. And it feels so different to even, and I was, the conversation we had in my community there last week was like, could you imagine two things? And then I'll kind of get off the chair or the tangent about this. But two things is like, one, what if you picked your supper meals around you and what you want all week, a whole week of just picking the supper meals around what you want versus asking everyone else and making sure it fits everyone else's tastes? Like, how different would that be for those of us that, like, again, are in the space of, because, some people are, and there's no judgment either way. But the other thing, too, was those of us that are in service of people, imagine if we supported ourselves the amount or more than what we supported everyone else around us.
Mm, wow, right?
Mhm.
That's perfect.
Mm.
Contemplate that.
Mhm.
Well, and that you just reminded me of when I was talking about the infinity symbol.
Perfect.
Something that came through for me was um, that my most precious relationship is with myself and with Source.
Mhm.
And when Source brings people into my world, I need to take care of them as if they were my child
Mhm.
because they are a child of Source and Source is trusting me with them. So that whole idea of like, have you ever taken your child and dropped them off at a sitter or a daycare and you truly hope and pray that they love your child, you know,
Half as much.
half as much as you do. I was going to say as
Yeah.
much as you do, but we know that's not. But
Yeah.
that they will, treasure your child and take care of them. And so, that just came to me in a meditation once of like, well, when Source brings people into my world, then I want to treat them like I would my own child or myself. But
Mhm.
first is my relationship with Source, and then comes the honor of receiving
Yeah.
these
Oh, I love
people
that.
into my life. And yeah, it's a great reminder even for today too, just to, look at people differently because everyone that comes into our life has a different role for us.
Mhm.
And yeah, someone even yesterday had said in one of our groups, "Well, are you all even really here?" Because sometimes some people say you're all just a projection of my own world that
Yep.
I've created. But
Yeah,
so
I'm
they
just in a world here by myself, and everything I
right?
interact with is not actually there. It's just in my brain.
Yeah. But it's a really good perspective of looking at the people around you and going, "Well, why are you in my life and what am I supposed to learn from you?"
Mhm.
And how am I supposed to grow from the relationship that we have? And sometimes it's a giving and sometimes it's a difficult relationship. And you just got to remember the sacredness of it.
Mhm.
Got to
Well,
remind you.
like you said, it's about the growth, and even the reason why people come into our lives and we have resistance around them, or that we're feeling away, they make us feel away, and we tend to go like, "Oh, well, they did this, so I felt this way." We allow ourselves to feel that way. It's not a they make us anything. We get to receive the experience. They didn't literally go to you and make you angry. You became angry because of something they said, but it was activated within you. So
Right.
it's not about like they did anything, but they were there to activate that thing for you in some way for a reason. So it's like really paying attention to, like you said, about what are they here to teach me, or what is it within me that they're helping me see, become aware of, what I need to heal, what's still going on that's causing resistance within me. Or it's a bring of I don't know, like most people that are probably listening to this may know Abraham Hicks and Esther Hicks, but if you don't look it up, highly recommend.
Right.
Uh, but like uh, Esther and Abraham. So Esther is a person that channels Abraham. For those that don't know, but Abraham talks about like the what we like and what we don't like. And so I can't remember the specific language off the top of my head at this point, but it's like really our whole life experience is to decipher what we want and what we don't want. So when you get around people that are like really activating and you're like, I don't like what they do, or perfect, now you know more of what you don't want. So now you know you get to choose where you spend your time and what you do with your time and who you're around. So it's like if somebody's on Facebook, if somebody's in the politics, if somebody's like talking to you in a way, perfect. Now I know this isn't a space I want to be in. You can make that
So
choice
true.
too.
So true. Oh my gosh. I love Abraham.
Mhm. Yep.
We
Me too.
we do. We do love Abraham. He's definitely been in my life for a long time.
Hmm. Definitely. Yeah. For extended
Yeah,
periods of time and so much fun. So if you've never heard of, or if you kind of have and dabbled in, highly recommend go listening to some Abraham Hicks. Uh,
absolutely.
they've got a YouTube channel that
Absolutely.
is like just you could plug into it every day and still hear amazing things.
So what else is coming up in your world this week with the people around you?
Um, Lots of unfolding. Like you said, the portals and stuff that's going on, everyone's feeling different energy. The energy definitely doesn't feel consistent right now, obviously. Globally, collectively. Um, but not in a bad way. But we've also, even from our own conversations, have seen where there's uh, a lot of health things coming up right now in this collective and what everybody's going through. It seems like it's like there's high percentages of people that are having issues, or not issues, but having things that are going on in their life.
Mhm.
Um, and it's just so interesting, and and not to get into the whole schema thing or the other end of the spectrum from what we were talking about, but like a lot of death
Yeah,
that's been going on
there
recently.
has been. I noticed that too.
Mm,
And, I go, "Well, is this what's happening with this? Is it the age group? Is it
mm,
because a large population is in the baby boomer ages,
right.
and they're the ones navigating with health issues and dying?" But then I know some very young people that have died
Mhm.
lately. Uh, quite we've had, like, 3 or 4 young women in our community that have passed on, for various different reasons. So, very hard for people to navigate that, for sure. I
There's
think
been
that
a lot of accidents here recently too, and like I woke up this morning and I opened up Facebook, and one of the first posts I saw was a friend of mine from high school. She shared another friend of ours from high school was in an accident and passed. So it's just like, and there's been a lot of those lately too. So again, it's I don't know. I know everything happens for a reason, and this is the way things are supposed to unfold. But like you said, it's like it's almost like the question mark of why is all this happening at this moment?
yeah. Well, and 30 years ago when I sat in circle with our shamanic teacher, she talked about this happening. She talked about these times, the earth changes times, and into, beginning 2011 and on. And I know we're well past that now, but for so many years prior to that, like, we were learning
Mhm.
and preparing for this time. So it doesn't seem like it
Interesting.
still is like, wow, it's really happening. Especially the predictions around, fires and floods,
Hmm.
earthquakes, things like
Right.
that. The earth is shifting and moving, and we are a part of her. We are
Mhm.
her essence. We ourselves ourselves are from the earth, and so we're also going through that
Mhm.
shakeup and shimmy. But
It's so true.
the there are people that really did come for a certain amount of time, and
Oh yeah.
yeah. I believe we have choices, exit choices,
Yes.
exit times, like, when we can say, I thought maybe, but no."
Hmm.
And other times when we go, "Nope, this is it, I'm out," right?
Well, and like you said, I think in my belief, and I had this conversation with a friend of mine years ago. I mean, and I'm curious about your perspective too. Going back to, I want to come back to that thought about what you'd shared about your shamanic teacher, because that makes me curious and lean in. Because I've only been in this world for 6 years, and so going back that far to see kind of what the perspective was, and that's interesting for me. But so what I wanted to get to is how I had this conversation with a friend of mine where it's, people like we choose when we come into this world, and we know exactly what we're coming into this world for. And again, you don't have to believe this if you're listening and you're like, ah, it seems sketchy. You don't have to believe it. This is something that I've chosen to believe. And, people come here with a purpose, and the purpose may not be to live a full life or to live even like, because we were talking about miscarriages and stuff. And it's like, but they're choosing to come so that the mother could have that experience for a reason for their growth development and who they are becoming. So that's kind of my perspective on it, is like you said, we kind of we come in with this choice, and whether we get those choices to leave when we want. But there's definitely part of that is like I'm almost coming into it knowing that this is when it's the time frame ish, that it's going to be like, okay, I agree to that in
Right.
the get go, from the get go.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I do believe that too. Um, I I, um I can't believe that this consciousness is here for this short of period of time, and that there isn't more, and that there isn't a continuation in some
Yeah.
way, shape, or form. And I truly believe that this earth plane is just one choice we have.
Hmm.
But it is the most amazing place. And I truly believe that we're all standing with our hand up and so excited, like, let
Mhm.
pick me.
Yeah.
and and we get to come. And so this actually brings up, and I can come back to that, whatever questions you have around what was going on 30 years ago. And I think it's very similar to what was going on when Robert Russell was writing. Like, it's very, very much the same consciousness growth and
Mhm.
questioning and awareness, presence, being here in the moment, knowing that there's more to us than this physical body and this physical journey, that there's a much higher purpose, and it's
Mhm.
about learning and growing and being in alignment with that higher wisdom within you, whatever you want to call it. I call it our soul, but you might call it your higher wisdom. Um, that I almost lost my thought for a second. The
Not a problem?
No, the saying I was saying to Alana before we started, I really have not slept all night.
Oh.
The energies are getting to me, I think. I don't know. I usually am a very good sleeper, and last night I woke up at 2:30 and I did not sleep at all until I think it was about 5:30. I last looked at my clock, and
Ooh.
then I dozed off because then my dog barked at 6 and woke me up, and I was wide awake, like, wide awake. So,
I've had nights like
definitely.
that too, so I get it.
Right? Yeah, I definitely feel like there's some sort of energy in me. But, you know, I've been contemplating fears a lot this week and
Mhm.
the past few weeks, and the fears of the unknown and the uncertainty and the fears that we hold. And I think that our most biggest fear is the fear of death, right? The fear
Mhm.
of anything happening to ourselves or to our loved ones. That's our biggest fear. And all the other little fears are just little distractions from the big
Mhm.
fear. And so, what I have been contemplating is, how do we shift back into the aliveness of life when we are holding this fear, which is what this masterclass is about, coming back to that portal within you, this you, your truth. And I think that the recognition of knowing that the fears never go away,
Mhm.
that fear will always be there, and that a lot of times we are trying to manifest a life that makes us feel like we don't have to worry anymore. We
Mm.
don't have any more fears. But um there is so many, like, you you get you win the lottery
Mhm.
and you think, "Woohoo, I'm set. I'm good. I'm
Right.
safe." It's like, no, because now I have this fear of it all going away, or this fear of me mismanaging it, or this fear of having to give it to everyone, and, how do I manage that? Or you want a relationship that you just think, if I could just have that beautiful love relationship, then everything will be good.
Mhm.
And then you get the relationship and you're then suddenly in fear of losing that person. So
Yeah.
it's like the fear never goes away. And so we get to decide where we're going to focus, right?
Yeah.
On the aliveness, being alive every day, and what we get to create, like that uh, absolute privilege we have of being here and
Mhm.
walking on this planet.
When I
But
think sorry, I need to interrupt for one quick second
yes,
because I think about that. I love this, and I didn't mean to interrupt, but like the thought that comes in, it's like we have this opportunity, but yet it's so funny that we get lost in the day-to-day stuff so easily. And
right?
it's like we have to work, we have to do that. But when we think about it, it's like, who says? Like, honestly, we could go through our entire lives without like a paid job and still survive. Do you know what I mean? Like, yes, it wouldn't be easy, but it's like we feel like there's this like such a pressure to perform, to do, to be. And
Yes.
like you said, if we think about it in that way, there's there's this privilege that we have. Could you imagine it just being like a Sims game or whatever? Just we're just picking and choosing whatever way we want to go through the journey today. Anyway, so
And I love that. That's so perfect. And I think that there is so much in the surrender. In fact, if you have never read The Surrender Experience by Michael Singer, I highly recommend it,
ooh,
because he lived his life that way. He wrote Untethered Soul.
yeah, I read that one.
Okay, yeah, I did too. And then last summer I read The Surrender Experience, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh, this is so cool." Because that's how he lived his life, is very much surrendered each day what was going on, and he would say yes to whatever came his way. But yeah, that the preciousness of life. And I think that as we get caught up in that day to day, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to, complete this, check it off the list. We lose sight of the absolute magical moments. And I think that, it just all this contemplation I've been doing the last couple weeks has reminded me how much I wanted to create those magical moments when I was younger. Like,
Hmm.
I I want to have this, or I want to create the perfect Christmas, right? And have the
Right.
perfect candlelight supper and everything. And we get really caught up in
Sorry.
that's okay. We get really caught up in all the details and the worries about general day-to-day life that we lose that passion. We lose that creative artist within us. And
Hmm.
that, knowing that, I don't have to be rich in order to create a beautiful candlelight Christmas dinner, and we think we need to
Yeah.
have this stuff. We need to have this lifestyle in order to do all these magical moments that we want to create. You know, we don't. And it's just coming back. Like, people say, well, how do I let go of that fear? It's like, well, you redirect your focus
Hmm.
to these precious creations that you want
Yeah.
to experience while you're here on earth. Yeah, but I want to travel in a private jet. Well, you have that in you. You have that idea in you. Experience it. Go into your imagination and
Yeah.
experience it as much as you can. And be so grateful that you have that imagination to do it. And maybe one day it will show up. But to be living in the absence of what we want is living in fear, because
Hmm.
fear brings scarcity.
Yeah.
Fear is scarcity.
Yeah.
And, so, yeah,
I love
I
that
don't remember
wisdom.
where I
Thank you for
started
sharing
that.
that. No, no, I love, like I said, I love that wisdom. I like we live in the scarcity of it, and then we're striving. We spend all the time striving to achieve that thing. And like you said, we could easily just, I know it sounds childish when you're like, oh, let's just go in our imagination and create it or feel it. And it's like, but that's how we're creating our reality every day.
Right.
Even what we're currently living, even the scarcity. We spend our time thinking about it and focusing on it more than focusing on the imagination, the possibility, and and that potential. We're focused on the fear. Like you said, that scarcity is fear. And I wanted to touch back on the comment that you said about the fear of death. And for me, it was funny. Before I started this work, I definitely had that, like, I was terrified. I wasn't even scared of it. I was terrified of death because it's
Mhm.
like, then what? Like, literally, there's nothing. But because I didn't have a very relationship with like religion or any of that kind of stuff before I started doing this work. And it's like now that I know that, like I said, my belief 100% is that there's not just once we finish in this realm, this time frame in this human body, that it ends. Like, scientifically, energy goes on. So there's no way we just, like, I have that firm belief now that there's absolutely no way I just end.
Mhm.
And so because of that, the fear that I had before, like, not that I'm totally like recklessly in an abandon of like, I'm scared of death, blah, blah, blah. But I don't
Right.
have that. It doesn't sit in the back of my mind like it used to. And I get to live life and just enjoy life as opposed to being caught up in death grip of fear of death. Anyway, I just
Yeah.
kind of come back to that.
Yeah. And I believe that whenever any of us get to the doorway of death, we get to that moment or we have to face it, we suddenly remember the preciousness of every little thing in life. And so for me, I have always contemplated death, and it sounds morbid, but it's something that I feel very close to, in that I only need to sit for a few minutes and think about, if this was my last day, what would I appreciate the most? What would
Mhm.
I love the most? What would I want to do today? And I think that's a gift, to be able to live life that way. And
100%.
when it really does come close to you or close to a loved one, um, it just magnifies it for you.
Mhm.
And then you go back to the memories that you have, like the snapshot images burned into your brain of moments in your life that you were so full of love or gratitude. And, even like Monday night, we went for family photos. Our kids gave us a early anniversary gift of family photos. We have never done family photos. Can you believe? It's just one of those things we just put off and put off. And we've done them like at weddings and stuff, the posed pictures. But this time we all went, and the photographer met us in this country setting, and my grandkids were having a blast running through this long grass that was there. We were near some trees and the grass was really long. I don't even need the photos, because burned in my brain is the picture of them running around laughing and giggling. They're so cute. Like my granddaughter's four and six
Mhm.
and eight. They're young, right? They're so
Yep.
innocent and young, and they just were in the moment. That's burned into my brain. And and you have those memories in your life, those beautiful, the Christmases or the autumn day or the smells, right? The smells stay with us for so long, or the moments on the beach on that vacation. You have so many. It's kind of, I forget what the, Meet Joe Black, when the woman in the I don't know if you've ever watched that movie, Meet Joe Black. You need to watch it. It's really good. But the woman in the hospital said, "You've got enough of the pictures in your mind, then you can go." Right? Like,
Mhm.
she was just a beautiful Jamaican woman, and she was on death's edge. And yeah, so Brad Pitt plays
Oh, yes.
death, and
Mhm.
he actually comes into the human experience to experience it. And so yeah, it's like you have enough snapshots, you can go now, right?
Yeah.
And so those are the moments in life. It's not, and maybe it is like, I mean, I love beautiful things and
Of
beautiful
course.
spaces and places. And when I manifested my Jeep, which was on my vision board for 10 years, like, that moment of sitting
Mhm.
in it, smiling, going, "I did it." Like, that is a precious moment for me. So it's not just, that you don't have to have beautiful things. I think we're here to enjoy everything,
Yep.
every moment of it, and every possible beautiful, flavorful sensory that we can possibly get. We get to have it. So, but the striving, and I think that's where people are right now. They're tired of that. They're so tired of it, and they're putting those heavy weights down.
Mhm. Thank
Yeah.
you for saying that. Yeah, it feels like again, going back to when you asked about the people around, I feel like people are tired, like you said, of the striving, of the hustle and the grind, and and it's almost like we're remembering that there's life to enjoy.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean, like, even the summer where people are kinda like, you're trying to get things done or connect with people and it's not happening. Oh, that's fine. It's the summer, like, allow ourselves to be more.
Right? and be in the moment of it. Like we're getting into a busy time of summer. For a
Mhm.
lot of people, it's harvest season, and there's all of that extra stuff to get done. Um, but to just savor it all, savor
Mhm.
the smells and the moments and the abundance that we have, and fill up your heart, right? Fill up. I'm grabbing that card. Fill up for
Yep.
you with the love of your own life and the moments that you have, because it's at the end of the road. And we've all heard this before, but at the end of the road, it's like you go alone
Mhm.
with your own memories and what you filled up on. No one
Mhm.
goes with you. So,
No one goes with you, and you don't take the stuff with you, so who the
right.
hell cares?
Yes, yes. But if you have the chance to enjoy the stuff, enjoy them.
Oh, yes. But it's like, again, don't get caught in the, like, rat race of the striving to accomplish and not notice the things, like, so that you lose the moments because you're so busy striving,
Yeah,
and that's kind of the thought is, like, the things yes, enjoy the things while you can or when you can, but don't feel like you said, I love that reminder of allowing yourself just because you don't have it doesn't mean you can't experience it.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so but we
Because
get
even
caught up in
after you've had it and it's gone, it's just in your mind.
that's
Anyways.
what I mean, like, you can't that's what you're taking with you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can always go in there and experience it fully. Sometimes it's sometimes we have to. I remember when I was coming back from Spain
Mhm.
just last November, I was thinking, I just want to go home now.
Mhm.
Like, Spain was beautiful, it was lovely, but I just wanna be home now. And
Mhm.
sometimes, like they say, you have to go away in order to come back. And it was just one of those moments. I remember sitting on the plane, looking out the window as it was going down the tarmac, ready to leave, and I just kept thinking, I am so grateful for everything I have at home, and I'm so grateful to have had this experience in Spain, but I just wanna go home.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. So, sometimes that's all that matters, right?
Yeah. Well, and
Mm.
it's like, again, it's that where does it feel good for you? Not everybody's meant to travel and do things, like, whatever feels good for you and your expression of who you are. And there's no right, there's no wrong, there's the whatever feels good for you, and that's, like, again, kinda going back to the Abraham Hicks thing, it's like, we have this guidance system within us that
Yeah,
leads us down a path. If it feels good, it's right for you. But
yeah.
we're so a lot of the time, again, kinda going to that, the striving and the trying to get things done and achieving and being the performer, it's like we compare so much to everyone else. And what you enjoy may not be what I enjoy, and allow that to be okay for everyone's experience.
So much so. Mm, yeah. I have a few things on my plate that I really wanna let go of.
And I think that's a really good point too. I had this conversation with somebody last week, and one of the things that she was saying, like, she had this to-do list of things to do, and even as she's talking to me, we're talking about, her business and where she's going. And it's like, well, I want to achieve this. And I'm like, okay, so what are you doing to move yourself towards it? Because even though we want some things, sometimes we tend to lose track of actually doing the things that matter to make us move forward towards it. And she's like, well, I'm going to do this, this, and I'm actually not going to do this. And it's like that discernment between where we truly want to be and spend our time versus, you know what, I can remove this from my plate because this isn't in alignment with where I'm going, what I'm doing. And even if it may seem like something, if it doesn't feel good for me, then get rid of it. Why are we spending our time and energy there?
So true. So
Mhm.
true. Oh my gosh. Life can be so much simpler.
Ah, yes.
Ah. So
I
what
think
do
that's
you
where
have coming up here in August for everyone? Sorry, I cut you off.
no, that's okay. I can't even remember what I was gonna say. Anyway, doesn't matter. Thank you for asking. I have August. I have an event actually next week. I'm doing a free conversation around the knowing and the living. That's exactly what we were just talking about is like that, those spaces where we're like, I know the things I need to do. I know what I want to accomplish. I have an idea. I have a dream. I have a goal. But why aren't we moving towards it? And not that, again, it's a shift between, it was funny because I was even talking to somebody the other day about, she's like, I said, what's the plan to get there? And she's like, honestly, I'm so done with the plan. Because when we think about the word plan, we go back to the hustle and the grind and the push and getting things done and forcing things to happen. And it's like, and you do this, 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 and this. And we're like, that's not what I mean when I'm talking about a plan.
Right.
Plan is, where do you want to go? Let's create some steps to get there. The steps are going to change as you continue forward. It's like you won't know all of them anyway until you start taking the steps forward. Then they're going to adjust. They're going to move. They're going to be different. So when I'm saying a plan, I'm talking about a plan in a different consciousness. I'm talking about a plan of like, where do you want to be and how do we want to move there and in what way? Like I said, it's not a let's get it all done in one day. Let's start taking one step towards it and see what happens. But if we don't ever take that one step, we'll never get there. So that's
Right.
what this is about, is like the difference between the space between where we're sitting on the edge, and it's actually a program, a space I've launched that's called the threshold. And it's
Oh,
literally the space in between. And it's one, because in my mind, we can make these huge leaps and bounds, but transformation or change doesn't truly happen there. Change happens in these little steps of learning to trust ourselves. So we're on that threshold of sitting right where we know what we want, but we're not moving towards it. And it's 15 days, it's a supportive space to be able to move towards what you want over those 15 days. And I'm not giving you the action plan. It's literally like, okay, what do you feel is the next step for you? Take that one
right.
step today
Yes.
in an
Yeah.
ease and flow way versus like, okay, let's get this done. So that's what I'm
And
doing. That's what I've been focusing on.
and when is that happening?
I have the conversation is happening on Thursday of next week, in the morning-ish. Late morning for me, so it'd be earlier morning for anybody in the West. Um, and then like I have this space is already open, so it's literally anybody that wants to continue forward in that idea.
Okay.
But we're having this conversation about what the edge and the threshold really looks like and why we're sitting there, constantly
Right.
staring at that edge. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And that's similar for me. My free conversation is on Wednesday.
Yay!
Yeah, so that's the kind of the window of that Lion's Gate,
Mm-hmm.
the end of the window, but it is called the portal within, returning to yourself in times of uncertainty. So all about, what we've been talking about here. So that's fun. And then I do have a plan for if anyone wants to go deeper too in that. And then I have the Creative Mystic retreat on the
Yes.
27th that's coming up. Yeah. So
I was
I'm
like sold out, almost sold out. Is there
almost,
spots
right?
left?
There are a couple spots left, but I basically have said, I kind of need to know now for food and everything. So, and rooms, like just giving them my final numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But I would squeeze one or two in if they need it.
So if you're listening, I would highly recommend, because I've looked at it, and if I wasn't tied up already with a few things that are in the unknown
Oh,
space for me,
that would
I
have
was
been
like,
so much
that
fun.
would have been so cool to go. Maybe next time, but when you do the next one,
Oh,
it'll probably be on my agenda because I love the feeling of what you're creating. I love the mountains anyway. When
mhm.
you're including horses, I'm definitely in. So it was like, not this year because of, like I said, I'm currently moving in a different space because I work with cadets as well, and I'm moving in a different space
Right.
there. But anyway, sorry, let's go on.
Ah, that's so cool. Well, and it's interesting because as I was laying awake last night, I was thinking about my retreat, and how last year we went to Mount Shasta and
Mhm.
how much, everybody received from that beautiful retreat. Like, my gosh. But I know what happened was we came and we first acknowledged the land and the ancestors of the land, the keepers of the land, of the mountain. And we went to these sacred spaces. We drummed for the mountain, for the land. We drummed for the water. We sent healing into the space, and we received big time back from that space. And that's what we're doing at this
Lesson.
place in the Rocky Mountains also. We're bringing the light. We are the light bringers. And so we're going to that space not just to take and heal or whatever we need, but we're also bringing light. We're anchoring light in. There's a beautiful lake there that we'll do a ritual by the lake, and we'll do some drumming for the water and drumming for the earth and the ancestors, and yeah, there's lots of things, and the horses. It's gonna be beautiful. So
Mm,
I'm very much looking forward to it.
yeah, I would, if you do it again next year, keep me in the loop because I would love to. Like I said, if there was an unknown and uncertainty, well, not uncertainty, unknown in my future, I was definitely contemplating it
Right.
for the next time. But I
Yeah.
love what you said about that. I know we're kind of getting close to our time and you're tired, but I love what you said about like, what a beautiful lesson of that experience and the evidence and the validation of like the result of what happens again of the if I let's give back more than we take and look what you receive more of.
Oh my gosh. I have to say, like, I'm proof that I had an experience on Mount Shasta, and ever since then, prior to being I had been gluten-free for 10, 15 years because of stomach issues. I can eat anything now. Ever since Mount Shasta, I can eat anything I want.
Was it something you asked for?
No.
Yeah.
It just was spontaneous, and it happened there because it was there that I went, "Hey, I snuck half a muffin and I feel fine." And then I
Hmm.
kept kinda testing it, and it's like, "Yeah, I can eat anything now." I try to be more conscious of what I'm
Obviously, yeah.
eating, but it was a beautiful blessing from that space, and I believe it was because we were giving back to the land too.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, Mystics in the Mountains. Last year was Mystics in the Mountain, and this year's Mystics in the Mountains because we're surrounded by mountains. And we do have one every year, just one. So we'll see where we're pulled to next year because I believe the land tells us where we need to go.
I
So,
love it.
yeah.
Rockies are my
Anyways,
favorite. The
we
mountains are my
should
favorite.
close this up. We're going over time.
I have one more thing I wanted to share and then move on.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
But speaking to your like giving back to the land, I don't know if have you again in front of me.
Oh,
Uh,
yes, I have them.
do you have these?
Yes, I do.
I was gifted those for my birthday from my sister, and a friend of mine has them, and we use her deck of cards all the time. But I read the book for that, and oh my goodness, for the stones, like just it's Rebecca Campbell. For those who didn't catch it,
Yeah.
Rebecca Campbell, the Ancient Stone Oracle deck, wholly powerful. And when we think about the wisdom within the mountains and within the stone, because they've been around for centuries. Like we've been here for a blip of time, human beings in comparison. So the wisdom, the ability that we could tell, like that was like, I never really thought of it in that way, but I did feel it because when I went down, when I was in Ouray in Colorado, we were surrounded by the mountains down there.
Oh, yeah.
What a beautiful experience. Like I literally remember because literally in Ouray, it's surrounded, the town is completely surrounded by mountain. And you have to go through the mountain pass or just in the low valley area just to get in and completely almost 360 surrounded by mountain. And I was standing there and every day we were there for like 3 days and I was just sitting there in awe because the feeling was like the wisdom, the ancientness, like it almost felt like I could almost feel dragons around me. Like it was just it was such an amazing feeling. That's why like when you said the Rockies, I was like, oh, I wish I could go.
Well, well,
Same deal.
anytime
Same
you
deal.
can come, we'll go into the Rockies.
Yeah, 100% we are.
Yes, but thank you because you know what? I'll take that deck with me to the retreat.
Yes. Yes, you should.
I will. Oh my gosh, what a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this conversation. I appreciate you. And thank you all of us for everyone who's joined in and listened in. And as the circle closes for now, the light remains. You are the light. You are not just here it's not just here within you. Let these teachings echo through your soul, through your being, like the lighthouse calls over the sea, steady, sovereign, and unwavering. Share what touched your soul. Subscribe if you feel the call, because we would love that as well. And share it with anybody else that you feel might be helpful for. And always remember, you are the light, you are the way, and the circle will be here when you return.
Hmm. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.